Hi there, my name is Georgie Niles and I am your student's social studies teacher. Now, if your student is a junior, they would be enrolled in my U.S. history class. I would like to cover that first and then I'll get on to World Studies 1. So in U.S. history, throughout the whole school year, we will cover 8 units. We will get through the first 4 in the first semester. So I've provided here a list of what we'll be talking about. Right now, we're in the middle of review. Then we'll go right into the Gilded Age and progressivism. After that, it'll be followed by the Roaring Twenties and the Great Depression and New Deal. That should take us to the end of semester 1. And as we start semester 2, we'll be looking at World War II, post-war America on the world stage, also post-war America at home, and contemporary issues. So we should get right up to present day if all works out well. This is a new scope and sequence for our department, and we started it last year, but with remote learning, it was really obviously difficult to keep up. So I'd like to move on to the next one. And World Studies 1, we're changing the name of that class to Current World Issues because that's what we will be covering. So we're going to start out, again, we're in review, and then we'll start out what's the importance of history and information media bias, things like that. And we will be adopting second quarter of this first semester a new curriculum. So we'll be using some different supplemental materials, but we're going to start out our first unit this year is going to be on how hunger impacts a society. So it'll be more current world issues, as I've said, and hopefully more engaging for our students. I'd like to go over the 4-point grading scale because parents and students find this really confusing. And what I've chosen to do with Skyward grades is go through and just put in a grade. But we do grade on a 4-point scale, which we have here. So 100% is a 4. It's kind of like when your kids were in elementary school, 0 through 4. 4 is the best, 0's not the best. And we've got the rubric here. I think I can move my picture over a little bit. And this is what the rubric looks like. So I also have it laid out for percentages. So if your child has a 69% in class, that would equate to a 1.66. But if you just, it's 1.66 would be, that would look like in Skyward on their final grade. But the final grade then would look like a C minus. Down here we have the rubric for a 4. You're going to be obviously exhibiting level 3 performance, but you have students are showing an in-depth knowledge of content, an application that goes way beyond what was taught in class, and so on with this. But I just want to remind you, when you look in Canvas, don't look at the grades in Canvas. They are not accurate. However, they transfer accurately to Skyward. Skyward is the record for the state. That's what you should look at. Look at the grade, don't look at the score. So if it says 4% and you're wondering why your student has an A at 4%, that's because an A really is 100% and in this case equates to a 4.0 on the 4-point scale. So again, don't look at the Canvas grades, only look at the Skyward grades. All right. So then what I'd like to do is actually close this up and I want to show you my syllabus. So my syllabus, many of you have gone over already with your student and they have turned that in. What I'd like to show you here is just to actually come down and look at my classroom expectations. So my late work policy is I will accept late work up to 2 weeks after the unit closes. That I also allow retakes on assessments for partial credit, not full credit. I have a plagiarism and copying policy because I've had trouble with that in the past. Plagiarism, copying off another student is not accepted. If it happens, the first time it happens, the student would get a 0 on the assignment and they would get a call home. I would be calling you. If it happens again, I would be calling you. 0 on the assignment, and then I would refer that student to administrators to see what they would like with a discipline referral. And a third time, I've only had this happen once in like 23 years, the student would be dropped from the course with an F. But that was an extenuating circumstance, and it never happens more than once. And that first time kids, it's usually an accident. So I try to work with them to make sure that they are using their own work and not copying off of someone else. They can always ask me for help if they're unsure as well. Okay, I expect students to be to class on time. and have a charged Chromebook. We use those every day. I'm trying to get away from paper, which it's easier now coming out of a remote year. Just with the transmission of COVID, I don't want papers turned in. I'd like to take care of this all online. So students always will need their Chromebook in class and charged. As far as behavior goes, just do the right thing. I don't have a lot of rules to put my thumb down on each student, but I would like them to, let people learn. Don't distract, don't disrupt. Be on time, do what you're supposed to do, and then we can have a good time in class and no one gets in trouble and there needs to be no calls home. Same with language. I know that kids slip up sometimes, and so do I. So I just kind of give a warning. But if it gets out of hand, there will be a call home. And I also have a list here of some things, other tools in my toolbox I can, have before or after school detention. I tend to lean towards lunch detention because the student is on campus. They don't have to stay after school or come early. And many of you have already signed this and sent it back to me, and I appreciate you for that. That was fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I hope you guys have a great night. I'm sorry I missed out on open house. If you need to get a hold of me, please send me an email, and you can do that through Canvas or you can do it through Outlook, which is gniles@nthurston.k12.us. Have a great night. Bye.